This is Chris Morris, and we're going to be continuing on here with our advanced training series. This is going to be lesson number 7. We're going to be talking about how to set up a wired input specifically geared towards a machine down alarm. We're going to be going over what the purpose of a wired input is in relation to a machine down. We're going to then have to create discrete input, or in other words, turn on that input where it's wired into our I/O module. And we'll have to create a switch contact alarm, and then we basically need to link both of these together, the input with the alarm. So purpose of a wired input is to capture information about a machine by a sensor or machine controlled contact, generally used to capture when machine down or not running. This option helps us to eliminate human error, so we're not waiting for someone to tell us that the machine is down. We know immediately when it's down. In order to complete these steps in this lesson, you'll have to have a contact wired into the I/O module. This is a small picture here. We have a blow up of this. So essentially, discrete input number 3's got a dry contact on it, telling us when it's on or off. And discrete input, or DI2, has a voltage input into it. So for my example, Dan, when you'd be using DI3 or discrete input number 3. We'll get right into it here. Go ahead and get into VT3000. Go ahead and log in. We're on that home screen, configuration, devices. You can select product status module to add a new one, or touch input. Either one of those will accept this type of input. I'm going to go ahead and just edit this PSM that I have right here. First thing I'm going to do is open it up. We'll go to discrete inputs. As I was saying before, I'm going to use discrete input number 3. And it comes up as disabled. Basically, we want to turn it into a transition. We want to enable it so that it's on. And then inverted would mean that we have power constantly through that contact. And then when that power goes off, that signifies that there's a problem. The reverse of that, or the norm, is there is no power. Then when there is power into that contact, then we know something's wrong. On delays and off delays, leave those set to 1. This link 2, we're going to come back to that in a few moments. Just go ahead and click off this. You know that we can see that it has a little symbol here that's set up as a transition, enabled 1.1, and that's it. We're going to hit save and exit to set up that input on that module. I'm going to come here, go ahead and hit edit. We can go to our monitoring points, and just right outside here in the root, I'm going to go ahead and just add an alarm, and let's just call it machine down. So there's 3 switch contact modes down here. There's dual state, basically on and off. There's the tri-state, as you all know, is the on, acknowledge, cleared, and then the with reason. So you're going to on, acknowledge, then when you acknowledge, it's going to ask you for a reason. The thing to keep in mind with wire contacts is that if you select a tri-state, it is going to, when the input gets tripped, it's going to turn on the alarm. And on the screen for the touch screen for the PSM or touch input, it's going to ask you to acknowledge. And like I say, if you do this one, it's just going to say acknowledge, and then when the alarm clears, it clears. For this one, you'll hit acknowledge, it'll ask you for a reason, then when you clear the alarm, clear the stoppage on the machine down, it'll clear the alarm out. The thing to remember is that if someone were to show up and they did not select the acknowledge on the touch screen and they cleared it and the machine started running to go, it's going to clear the alarm. There is no way, it's not going to make them hit acknowledge before allowing that alarm to clear. So I'm going to go ahead and select dual and select a color for it. And basically we're just going to click over here on root. So now we can see that we have our machine down alarm is right here. Set up as a switch contact. So the next step is we need to link the switch contact with the input. So go back over here to discrete inputs. Click on discrete input number 3. And so this link 2, click that, and we basically want to select that switch contact alarm that we created, which is machine down. Once you've got this set up, simply save and exit, and that will conclude this session on how to set up that wired input. Go back over here to our summary. Went over the purpose of a wired contact. We don't want it to have any human errors, or not not telling us when the machine is down. Then we created a discrete input and we set it up as a transition. Then we created a switch contact alarm. I went over the different ones and what you had to look out for when you do a tri-state. And then we basically linked the input with the switch contact. Prac app, go ahead and create a discrete input as a transition, then create a switch contact alarm, and then just link them up. And additional information, you have the overall VT3000 wiki page. We have an overview page on discrete inputs. Then there's a guide on wired input connections, so it'd be like how to actually wire into the I/O module. And then this is what we just went over, how to add a wired input as an alarm. Thank you very much for your time today, and hope you have a great day.